Welcome to the Old Computer Museum channel, and today we're going to talk about a Commodore 64 game called Bubble Ghost. Now, maybe you watched my videos on my channel and said, well, wait a minute, you already reviewed Bubble Ghost. Well, yeah, I did, but for the Amiga 500. So what we're going to show here is Bubble Ghost for the Commodore 64. So we can compare between the Amiga version and this Commodore version. Bubble Ghost is a game from 1987 and was released a later version available for Game Boy in 1990. It was cracked by Eaglesoft in 88, but it's a 1987 game. Platforms on which it appeared at the Atari ST, the Amiga, Amstrad CPC, the Commodore 64. There's a DOS version, Apple IIgs, and Game Boy. It's a game from Accolade. Accolade made a lot of nice little games for the Commodore, actually. Gameplay, so basically Bubble Ghost is a 2D arcade game. Player controls the ghost using a computer mouse or joystick, and it has to blow a bubble around a level, and so you continue on by actually blowing the bubble up to the exit. But the twist is that you get a lot of obstacles in the different levels. So you can have fans, you can have candles, you can have all sorts of things that can suck the bubble or push the bubble. So you gotta, go around the level. Some levels are actually multi-level, which means that some levels actually take up 2 screens. You move around your bubble to one screen, then you'll exit another screen and continue on to the exit, and there's another level that's ended. It's a very entertaining little game, and it's actually very well made for the Commodore 64 computer. So game has 35 halls or levels. So each time the player makes the bubble exit the hall, he wins 1,000 points plus the time left. There's like a bonus for the time left on the clock. Apparently the original version of Bubble Ghost was created for the Atari ST first, and then was sent to the other different platforms, apparently. It's a French game, so one of the rare games that comes from France for the Commodore that's really popular, because there were some games from France, but not a lot of them were really popular, actually. Probably what is the most annoying for the Commodore version is its loading time when you start up the game for the first. But what's interesting is that all the levels are loaded into memory, which means that after that initial very long wait for the levels or for the game to load, you eventually get into the gameplay, which is quite fast-paced action. It's a 1 or 2 player game, so you can actually play with a friend and try to, do those levels the best way you can. What's interesting, you can press F5 to play a level. And of course you got the 1 or 2 player game. Here at the bottom it does say that there's a copyright 88, so it probably means that the original was in 87, but that the Commodore 64 version is in 1988. You can take out the sound effects, you can play with no sound at all, you can play or pause the game with F1, and also abort the game with F7. And here goes. So you got that ghost, and you see I can actually spin it around to actually blow at different angles. And of course, this is the first level, which is quite easy. And at the bottom, you see that little bar is the bonus bar. So you have to go as fast as possible. You gotta be quite precise and quick on some levels to actually play the game. Here, for example, you have a candle that you have to blow out, or else the bubble will pop because of the heat. So it's very imaginative. It's one of those little games that's very well thought out, actually, and it's extremely entertaining in its levels. So 35 different levels of increasing difficulty, so you really have to slowly get your hands. One of the most annoying parts, I would say, is also the fact that you cannot save the game. So when you play up to a certain level, suppose you do 20 levels out of, you know, the 35 available. If you start a new game, you have to actually start the levels again. That can be a little annoying in such a game, especially if the levels are hard to so let's try it out here. We will now try to push this up. You see here the fan is working, so it actually pushes. But there's a way to actually make this fan. Here we go. So you gotta figure out on each level how you're going to actually go through levels while doing it as fast as you can. It's a 1D64 file available on the internet, so this is viewed through the Vice 64 emulator. Oops, a little problem here. And you have to try to think your way around the levels the best way you can. Here, for example, you have to think of how you're going to pass through here. And of course, you have a limited number of bubbles, so you can actually end the game if you miss out too much. Some of the sound effects aren't fantastic, but you know. I'm a little too low here. I'm still gonna try it, but almost. I give Bubble Ghost for the Commodore 64, a score of 9 out of 10. Superb gameplay, nice levels. Difficulty level is, well thought out and not too difficult, so you can go through some levels, but it's increasing. So this is what will goes for the Commodore 64. If you have any comments, questions on what you've seen, let us know. Maybe you have a feature or a game for any platform, Commodore or any other platform actually. Let us know. We'll try to put that video online. And hopefully you enjoy our videos, and welcome back to the Old Computer Museum channel. We have lots of games, real machines, like the Amiga 500, the Atari ST. We also have lots of emulation stuff like this Commodore 64. And Super Nintendo, and more coming up actually, so why not subscribe so you'll know when new videos are online, and take a look through our different videos of old games and consoles. So thanks for watching, and hope you will come back to the Old Computer Museum channel. Bye-bye.